Okay, good afternoon all. My name is William Spriggs with the Economic and Cooperative Development Unit at BEDC. Happy to have you on board this afternoon for our loan guarantee program Lunch and Learn. So everyone's trickling in slowly. We'll just give it another, say, minute. I've got 12:31. And out of you that are on time, yeah, certainly we're going to start on time. Okay, so let's start. We're up to 16 now. I'm sure that'll creep up. I think we're over 60, 70 registrants for this afternoon's loan guarantee lunch and learn. As I said earlier, I'm William Spriggs with the Economic and Cooperative Development Unit here at BEDC. Happy to have you on board. I usually handle this loan guarantee program educational session. We usually run this once a year or so, and we float this in with everything else we do. Vending license basics, our microloan product. Other team members do the whole individual suite of products. And perhaps the communication department goes through our handbook in regards to all of the seminars and educational experiences that we have planned for the year. And so this is just a standard part of what we do to help you entrepreneurs to understand the products that we certainly are offering and can customize for your business's development. I'm joined by Deshaun. He's with us as well in the background to ensure that your questions are answered. You can bang your questions in the chat, and happy to entertain them at any point during the presentation, or you can just kind of note them, if you will, and at the end be happy to answer them. Deshaun, I'm pretty sure, but just help me out here. Individuals can also speak their question, right, within this platform, this GoToWebinar?
We haven't had that, but I think I would have to unmute them on my end.
Okay. All right. So if you definitely want to, for whatever reason, you don't want to you don't want to type your question in, maybe that's something that you can just say in the question, please unmute me, or something like that. But for the most part, if you just type your question in, we'll be happy to get to it if that works for you. Okay, so we're up to 24 or so. So let's start. This is our this loan guarantee product has been in existence since BEDC inception in 1980. This is our premier business financing product, and so we're excited about that. We've evolved it over the years, and this program, this particular presentation, will go into its current state of support for you and your business. This is pretty much what we do. I'm sure some, if not all of you, have engaged BEDC in the past in regards to in some shape or form, whether it's advice or a product or a microloan or anything like that. And so we also manage the island's 3 economic empowerment zones. West, we're just opening up a new office in Somerset, in the old Al Palio space right across from the Somerset Cricket Club. Pretty much renovated that. Got a business incubator there, as well as in the process of finalizing renovation for our new office in St. George's, in the old post office, right in the back to the south of the police station, just off of Water Street. So microloans we'll get into in a minute. Vendor licensing and management. The old peddler's license is now managed by us, and called a vendor license. As many of you know, just not sure your business experience, whether you've got veterans on the line or new entrepreneurs, but the loan guarantee product fits in with a host of other financing options for your business, from friends and family to debt, whether it's a traditional line of credit with the bank, a term loan, as they called it, overdraft, partners, investors of various sorts, and certainly our host of microloan products that we'll get into right now. So this particular, okay, I was saying to myself, what happened to this slide? And when I left it, it was fine. Okay, cool. So just briefly, in case you didn't know, that BEDC offers a few types of microloans. We have a general or business sustainability microloan for forward financing. I want to start a new business, and this is what my business plan. And forward, I need capital for a renovation of a space. I need capital for inventory. I need working capital, if you will. I've got some money myself, but I want to be able to just have a cushion over the next 3 to 6 months, call that working capital. And so that's our general microloan. Our COVID loan is pretty interesting. And that's run by the MSME unit, the micro, small, medium enterprise business unit by under our Ray Lambert here and his team. But still available in regards to a loan and a grant combination. And so various arrangements with that, but certainly during COVID now, and to be able to, in our response to COVID hardship, that we have a few types of COVID loans available to you, and some are, 1 or 2 or so, with a grant element, grant being, i.e. free money, attractive interest rate, flexible terms, totally customized to your business. It's just a hard product to beat. So if you haven't availed yourself to it and you have a need for, say, under 30 grand or so of funding, do think of BEDC, and you can reach out to us through our email, info@bedc.bn, or our website. Also debt consolidation microloans and whatnot for any type of back debt amalgamation. Okay, what's a loan guarantee? So it's pretty simple. You would go to the bank and say, hey, I'm looking to start my business, or my business is, I have an existing business, but I need, say, 50 or so of new money to be able to do a number of things. Maybe I got 10 grand of debt that I want to pay off. Maybe I need a new truck, because as we're coming out of COVID now, if that continues to be so, hopefully so, then I've got this contract that I'm courting, and if I get this contract, I'm going to need a new truck to do X, Y, and Z. And so, hey, that's what I need, 50 grand. Well, the bank, as you know, wants to be fully collateralized, securitized, aren't in the business of taking a gamble on your plans, our plans. And they say, well, okay, well, what's the collateral side? And then you say, well, I've got 10 grand of the 50 or so. And in some cases, they might want you to secure that 10 grand at the bank. You pay off the loan, you get your 10 grand back. Or they might want you, depending on your ratios and their whole analysis and workup of your portfolio, they might want you to spend the 10 grand and borrow 40 on this example of a 50K borrowing. And then they say to you, well, yeah, we want you to spend it. It's 40K loan now. What are you going to secure it with? You say, well, I don't have anything, just a truck. And so you buy a brand new truck. The truck costs 30 grand, maybe 40 grand. They probably want, that's almost B grade collateral. It's not A grade. And they say, well, even with the truck, we're going to, at the full price, we're going to discount it. You're short. And that's where our loan guarantee come in. It's just a piece of paper that is a security instrument that says we guarantee you, Mrs. Smith, for this amount of money, and that is in place usually on a structured term. So we would work with the bank and yourself to say at the end of the day, we're going to get our guarantee back at this point, or it's going to stay in for the full term of the loan, and that is enough at whatever that guarantee is stamped at, that as is priced at, then that is to the bank security to enable you to get your truck, get your working capital, this 50K or this 40K K loan. Okay, so it's a security instrument that if you need it, and if you have no other way to find security, have security, no asset of your own in this particular case for this particular business deal, uncle or anyone to step in for you, say, hey, I don't have nothing. If I can't get this done, it's just no way I can do it. Then we are there as a loan guarantor of last resort. If you have means, if you have assets, then this product is not for you. It's for those individuals, entrepreneurs, small business owners, medium-sized business owners that need our product, and if they did not have access to it, would not be able to start or expand their businesses. Okay. Yeah, and so prior to COVID, our guarantee was up to 65% of a bank loan. But since COVID, we've stretched and are continuing to stretch, just like you, just like probably most in the island, to say, what else can we do? How can BEDC further support small, medium-sized businesses to weather the storm and certainly start to strive post-COVID? Okay, so now our increase is 75% of a bank loan, up to 300,000 of loan guarantee, if you will. So that 300 loan guarantee on a bank loan of 400. It means that, whatever your borrowing is, right? You probably have a plan, wherewithal to borrow 550 from the bank. I need 550K to do this and expand, and I want to start up a new something as well, because the new business connects and leverages into my existing business. So that's what I'm looking to do. Well, maximum guarantee, even if it is over 400, is still at $300,000. I already explained the middle box, so to speak, and that guarantee can be placed with any of those 4 financial institutions, the main 3 plus Bermuda Credit Union. Okay, and so the loan guarantee, unlike the microloans, all of our microloans are BEDC to you direct. No bank, us to you, our application, our vetting, our analysis, our approval, funds from BEDC to your account, you pay BEDC back. That's the microloan, those various microloans I talked about. The loan guarantee instrument, our collateral instrument, is pledged to the bank. The bank loans you money after approval with our guarantee in place. You pay the bank back. We are in as a guarantor. Okay, you want to skip off to Africa, and the bank calls on your business, then the listing of security, they would just kind of go through that to be able to reclaim funds towards the bank loan. And then if our guarantee instrument is in there, that would be called for your business. They say, hey, BEDC, we're going to have to call on your loan guarantee. We pay the bank out because that is a legal, legitimate instrument that we've pledged to secure X amount of money on your behalf. And then we would come to you to ask us to pay us back if our loan guarantee is called by the bank. Okay, so that's the full circle of it, if you will. Bermuda Credit Union is a new partner in this regard, and so yeah, you have to become a member first. From what I believe, there is a cash deposit. I believe it's 25% of the bank loan. Other than that, I'm not directly involved with from our side to the credit union. But I know that you have to become a member of the union, and there is a cash deposit piece that's held in an account, and then but obviously they have their own application and whatnot. If you're interested in a Bermuda Credit Union loan, please let us know. You can email myself. I'll give you my email at the end, and I can direct you to anyone that's one of our team members that would handle that, as well as if you're interested in anything at Butterfield, HSBC, or Clarion as well. Okay, so that's really kind of, these are the magic numbers. 75% of a bank loan, maximum of $300,000 excuse me, loan guarantee, and then certainly that 300,000 is on a bank loan of 400. You can borrow more, but our loan guarantee is capped at 300 at this particular point in time. I touched on this earlier. A-grade collateral. What is A-grade? Obviously, cash. A-grade is liquid. It's liquid, right? So if you put a bank hat on, what can the bank liquidate or have as liquid as to be able to, realize if needed on their loan, payback on their loan. So cash, obviously, marketable securities. They discount by a percentage. I'm not sure what that is. It may vary from bank to bank. If you've got stock and whatever, then at the end of the day, how quickly could that be converted to cash? Real estate, free and clear title. But usually, if you're looking for a residential loan to buy a home, then usually you own a residential, if you're going to live in it and whatnot, is 80% kind of minimum, fluctuates 70-80%. But if it's land, it's 50%. If you're looking for commercial property, usually the loan to value is 65%. So more of a equity participation on your behalf, commercial than residential. In this particular case, I'll get into shortly how real estate collateral from your end will apply in our loan guarantee scenario if you're looking for a loan guarantee for your business. I'll get into that in a minute. And permits. Yeah, I got a taxi permit, minibus, truck. Those are the usual valuable permits, and they would discount them as well if they're going to take them to securitize against your business loan. I see a question here. Is that a question, Deshaun? How do you categorize small and medium-sized business? That's a good question. I could take you to our website, but the short answer is a small business is sales under, sales/revenues under $1 million in 1 year. And there are other parameters of under 10 employees for small business, payroll tax under 250K, not dominant in the industry, owner managed. So that's like 5 criteria. So, but the usual drivers there, am I small, am I medium, is the sales category under 1 mil a year. Medium-sized business between 1 and 5 million has different parameters ratcheted out for payroll tax and 50 employees and things like that. So hopefully I've answered your question, but that information is in black and white on our website, within our loan scope and eligibility. So if you go into our website and you look at our COVID loans and stuff, it's spelled out there within all of our documents. All right. So loan guarantee, bank placement, process, and timelines. Okay, so our microloans, we can, based on a successful application, you filled it all out, given us all our information. Today, July 1, we could turn around an answer for you within 3 weeks. Maybe a little shorter, depends on the queue. Now it's pretty busy. We've been busy for the last year. But under our control, we can move fairly quick, pretty responsive. That's what we do, right? But with the banks, it's a different process. Keep in mind, the bank is loaning you the money. We are simply approving your plans and vetting, and with the analysis to say this is the level of loan guarantee. Here's how we would like it structured, and so we're one part of this equation with our guarantee. But for the most part, you're under the timelines of the bank as the entity issuing the funding. So let's go through it. So March 1, you complete a business plan after meetings with BEDC and officers and whatnot. Okay, could take 3 to 12 weeks, right? This is all about you. Are you, is your accountant involved, a finance person? Do you have the complete skill set for your business plan? The words and the numbers, the financial schedules, the cash flow and whatnot. It might take you some time. Or you might say, yep, done it before, been there, no problem at all. Here's the plan, and it took 2 to 3 weeks. But it's going to be a couple of meetings there, and it could be, virtual, it could be in person, whatever's comfortable at this point in time. If you're looking at kind of now going forward, then sometimes with entrepreneurs, it takes a little while to get a completed plan, okay? So the loan amount, your equity, personal equity, what are you putting in? Oh, I'm looking for 100 grand. I don't have any money. That's sometimes a tough sell. It's going to be a tough sell to the bank. It's going to be a tough sell to us. Not that we haven't done or can't do 100% financing, or in this case, collateral. It's just that, you know, you're going to hit a, it's going to be a wall there in some sorts. If you go to the bank, you know, the more you are asking for, the more, you know, what's your skin in the game. It's going to be some requirement of equity on your end there. So we're going to help you to sort all that out and overcome the sticky points that we know that you're going to encounter if the plan is not solid when you hit the bank. Okay, avoid handing off work in progress plan that, you know, we know what's a no, we know what's a question mark with the bank, and we can help you to avoid that, to get stuck, because it's hard to overcome a no to get back to a yes. Yeah, so we can help you see that right up front. It can take us a month or so post you handing off to us a completed plan. Plan solid. The key indicators and the key foundations and pylons are, you know, the concrete is in place. It's you know, it's an understandable plan. You've got an existing business or a new business. It's grounded in some sort of agreement or solid stream of income. Yeah, the speculative is managed. You've got some plan Bs or plan Cs in place. The equity, the numbers kind of, you know, in principle work. Our guarantee plus your piece, you know, the loan is pitched at the right level. Then fine, you're ready to go to the bank. Okay, and then you start to be able to engage the bank officer, the back and forth, and they're gonna have a whole lot of questions. If you've been there before, you know all about that. And then at the same time, it's a three-way, two-way thing between us and the bank. We're looking to be able to structure our guarantee and work out how our guarantee floats within the loan, and I'll get into that in a minute and whatnot. So we're looking to be able to reduce our risk as well. And the bank obviously is looking through a huge portal of risk, and all that takes conversations and time to work out about how our guarantee fuses within the loan for your benefit. Okay, at the same time, we have a credit committee for our loan guarantees that we're engaging them. We don't want to, you know, we want to under promise and over deliver. And so as we are engaging and analyze, and, you know, our language is possibly looks good, we can look to do subject to, yeah, and then we're packaging that up in a way for at least an in principle agreement from our credit committee, so that we can more, you know, move forward to, well, all we need is A and B, and then we're good to go, you know. And obviously the bank, if our guarantee is going to be a strategic part of the loan, they're looking for us to approve as quickly as possible so that they can get on with their next decision makings and whatnot. And then we're pushing them to say, well, look, you know, we're still in the vetting stage with our credit committee. If we were to do it, then subject to our guarantee, would you do? So we're always advocating and nudging and you know, doing our best to get at least in principle approval for you as best we can. Yeah. And then, you know, it's, if you're a limited liability company, not a whole lot more work, but obviously it's, you know, board of directors resolutions. The board agrees that XYZ company can enter into a relationship with BEDC for its loan guarantee, this, then corporate seals. Not a bit more, but just obviously needs to get done as well as, you know, as opposed to if you were a sole proprietor or a non-limited. All right, example. Okay, let me just move my screen a bit here so that I can see everything that I need to. All right, so just to give you an example, and those of you who have been there and done that and whatnot, you're just kind of tapping in to say, what's BEDC doing now? I got a loan guarantee from you guys years ago. I'm just assuming that, you know, many of you, if not all of you, would like just to see how this thing gets structured, right? So client requires 100 grand, 7 years, service business to do you know, some renovation. You got 15 grand of your own money, and you don't have any other collateral, but you've convinced, you know, your uncle to pledge a small lot of land, and we're going to do a 50% guarantee. Now, I did say earlier that we can guarantee up to 75%. Okay, so we could do 20%, you know, 35. It's all about how we analyze your business plan, understand what other equity or collateral you have to bring to the table, this, you know, the amount of the loan, the risk profile, right? And so we're looking at all of that. We might not need to do 75%. We might take a smaller position, but in this case, for this example, it's 50%. Okay. Okay, small lot of land. Okay, so it's no A grade or even B grade, you know, no truck, no permits, no nothing that you're buying, yeah, that could serve as an asset to be collateralized as chattel or whatever to the loan, right? So if you buy a taxi or so, they'll call that taxi. They'll say, well, until you pay us off, we own the taxi, call that and do a chattel on that, right? But in this case, it's not that, right? And so, but what you do have is 15K. Okay, and so in this case, in this example, the bank is asking you to spend the 15, right? So 100K is what you need. We get down to the 85K because you've spent the 15. You're gonna spend it in this deal. Client good with 15K personal equity, and the bank loan is now reduced to 85. The more you request, I talked about that. So in this case here, 85 loan, and just for the simplicity's sake, over there, we'll split it in two. Yeah, 42, you know, 42 and a half. We're gonna guarantee, which brings the loan down now to 42 and a half, that the bank is still looking to, you know, the balance of it. They want to say, well, yeah, that's great. 15K, loan is 85. BEDC's good for you know, 42 and a half, just like cash to them. If need be, please be advised that we were like, you know, we're calling on your guarantee and we'd ask you to pay out on this date. Boom. And we're going to do all we can, contact you. Look, how can we work this out? We don't want to pay out. And then if we have to, boom, it's a check cut, cash to the bank. So they're happy with that, yeah? And then they're saying, well, how are we going to secure this other 42 and a half? And that's when you are saying, well, I got my uncle who's got a small piece of land and is valued at 130K. Yeah, valued at that. They were still discounted and whatnot. In this case, they're good with that because they really only need the 42 and a half. And so they're going to stamp it that they are you know, 42 and a half K of value of this 130K land is pledged to the bank. It's sold. If it had to be sold, then they have a right to 42 and a half of that. The rest can go back to you or anywhere else as needed. But the bank's in commitment, the commitment to the bank is 42 and a half. And that gets the deal done. Your 15, our guarantee, your uncle's land. Okay, and so time-wise, this is kind of how, you know, so that, you know, year 7 goes, you know, say now we agree to stay in for 4 years or until the loan is reduced to 42 and a half. We structure it in a way that we know when we're coming out. Yeah, and then after we're out, our guarantees return. Thank you very much. You sing our praises, helping you out. And then for the last 3 years, your uncle's land stays at the bottom to be securitized for the remainder, the balance of the loan. Okay, so that's pretty typical for us. You know, if it's other security, we'd like to get out before other security gets out. So we would kind of frown and not be too happy if you say, well, look, I need my uncle to come out first. He wants to get, and you know, can your guarantee stay in until the end? And you know, not to say that we don't do that at times, but we try to work that out and say, how can we share the risk? But usually our guarantee will come out first. Okay, let's look at another quick example. You can ask questions at any time. Okay, and our last little analysis here, 130K to finance a trucking business. You've got 30K, and we're gonna bump up our guarantee to 65% this time. Okay, so same way, 30K, you spend that, that's gonna be invested in the business. So 130 goes to 100, we still split that, well, 65K is 65%, we're taking a larger guaranteed position. Primarily in this case, in the example speaking, is that maybe the truck, you know, the client truck and permit is valued at 90K, but stamped to 35K only. Okay, so maybe the bank, or we would have tried in this case to say, well, look, we've got a brand new truck and permit is at 90K. So even if you were to just void the truck, a brand new truck, then the permit is still a truck permit. What's that going for these days? It's upward. It's, you know, what, 80, 90 grand? I'm not, you know, the value escapes me today, but we know it's probably more than 35K. And so people push the bank to say, look, you got to take a larger collateral position on a brand new truck and permit. And in this case, how it happens sometimes is that we'll go back and forth with that, and they say, well, no, the most we'll do on that collectively, both truck and permit, is 35K, and that's it. And so maybe that 4-star guarantee upwards a bit, because we really want to help you out, and you know, our first mission is to support you, Bermuda's entrepreneurs, with starting and expanding your business. And sometimes we do go hard, and we get feedback from the bank that, hey, they don't quite see it like that. As it shakes down to the numbers, they have their own reasons. It's not go to bed, it just is sometimes. But we're always going to advocate, or you know, we're always going to see how we can take the, you know, the lowest, the most minimal guarantee position to be able to help you to achieve your goals. And that might not be shake out just how we like it sometimes, but and there are other times that we're super excited the way it gets done. Okay, so in a similar fashion, we're out first, and then the bank will be left with the truck and the permit at the bottom of the deal, and you would finish up your loan with a zero, to zero, and then at that particular point you would get your truck, you would be free and clear, lien wise, mortgage wise, that you would fully own your truck and permit, and until that happens, it's still pledged to the bank. Okay, so our guarantee key takeaways: usually some equity, some skin in the game from yourself. You understand the difference between A grade, B grade, cash, marketable securities, land, B grade, brand new boat, car. Sometimes that doesn't even make B grade, and on down. Okay, but usually it's land, marketable securities, and real estate for A grade. We've talked about that. 75% structuring. We're looking to be able to exit the loan as quickly as we can, and usually all the time the bank wants to be fully secured, and it just has to be a good bankable deal, and we can help design that before you hit the bank. Okay, most of the stuff is on our website, if not all of it. Checklist in regards to the steps. I really covered that in a previous slide. Ideally, you'll work with BEDC officer in the MSME unit to be able to go through back and forth, getting your plan solid before you approach the bank. And 10-step guarantee process. We got a step in regards to how to deal with us and whatnot. That's on, I think that's on the site as well. And certainly all the other documents of their business plan checklists in regards to the elements of a plan, describe the business, products and services. So if you go on our website and go under toolbox, you'll just see the drop-down boxes. Everything's in the toolbox: cash flow statement, personal financial statement, your personal the bank and BEDC requires that, what you, your personal income, if you're buying this business or starting up, or some sort of, the loan, the bank loan, which our guarantee is pledges, and your in your spouse's name as well. Then there's a dual financial statement, what you and your spouse make, income-wise, your household expenses, disposable income. I'm sure you've seen it before if you've been through this process before. And then on the balance sheet side, assets and liabilities, what you earn and what you owe. Okay, so you can go through all of that. That's on our website. Okay, but it's more, we offer more than a loan guarantee program, right? It's more than that collateral instrument that says we guarantee you within this particular loan. And so it's all about loan structuring. It's how it's positioned, its term. Maybe up front we advocate because you say, well, hey, it'd be great. I'm a seasonal business and these are my slow months. Maybe up front for the fresh year, we ask the bank on your behalf or push to have them entertain interest only for the fresh year within these 3 months. That might be helpful to you. How the collateral is positioned. Maybe you would like the full loan and don't want to spend your cash because you say, well, hey, I really like that 15, 20, 30 grand back. When I pay off the loan, it could be like a little forced savings thing for me, and so I really don't want to spend it. And so all of that, as far as negotiating as well, maybe it might be a 1/4% or half a percent interest rate fall off at a certain point in time, assuming that you do this, and this, and meet that successfully. Okay, so we see it through the bank size, and I go to the bank, and if you're not prepared, and if your plan could be developed in a way where it can sail through a little smoother, and you can get what you want with less stress and everything else that we offer. It makes a big difference, especially if you're looking for, say, hey, I've got a big plan or a big vision, I could see some new financing within another year or two or whatnot, then we can offer quite a bit. We also have, as I mentioned, there's micro loans, which might be helpful as well. And so we think of ourselves as a pretty solid partner if you need bank products, and certainly BEDC products as well. So it's all on our website. My email is wspriggs, SPRIGGS @bedc.bm, wspriggs@bedc.bm. But you've got the info site that goes to our capable front line who will push that on to, as I mentioned, if you're looking for a loan guarantee, if you're looking for a micro loan, that is with the MSME unit, and that's headed up by Raymond Lambert. And so his team will process and reach out and consult with you in regards to your micro loan and loan guarantee applications. The emergency grant that we were offering is officially closed, so our unit was handling all of that, and so that is shut down now, and so we're dealing with the last applications of that. But everything else now is Raymond Lambert's unit. I don't see any more questions.
Hey William, yeah, there are a couple questions. Okay. So we have one from Daniel Pinto where it says, will the loan application be rejected if I have a good business plan but little to no collateral?
I'm trying to stretch. You showed me how to do that. To Sean, I'm just trying to see the questions myself. But yeah, will the plan be rejected if I have little to no collateral? It all depends, Danielle. It depends on which bank. It depends on you and your whole profile to the bank, history, experience, wherewithal. Depends on how your numbers and the ratio analysis, and depends on your history, right? You have existing facilities. Have you been able to increase those facilities? Any hang-ups? But usually, now, what are you looking for? A 30K loan? Then you might as well come to us. for that. But if you're looking for, you know, anything over 75, 80, 90, 100 and up, then pushes you to the bank, right? And with the bank, they want to be collateralized. And so the more you ask for, usually the more skin in the game, and say, well, what do you have to put towards this? And so in principle, it's usually tough, little to no. What does little mean? On 100,000, just to give you, let's just talk numbers, like roughly, 100, 10, 15%. That's minimal. It's minimal. 15K. That's little. 12 is little. You know, none is none. And so all I can say is, you know, it's highly advisable to try this stuff on us with some real numbers, where, you know, where we can ask you a dozen more questions, and we can help you to really see yourself and your business, and we can be the banker to say, well, this would, you know, this would be our issue, or issues, or challenges, to help you to overcome or think through that before approaching the bank.
And then the only other question was, is there ever an opportunity to provide for 100% loans without cash on hand?
Yeah, connection to the past question, and can I apply for 100% loans with cash, without cash? So that's what we do, right? With the microloan, you know, we ask for no collateral. It's 100% financing, and we're excited to do that. We have our challenges in doing that, but that's what we do to support the entrepreneurial ecosystem. In Bermuda, with the banks, it's a little different. Will there ever be? Well, I'm not in the bank inner workings and hidden mechanisms. I would think not. The bank is not in the business of taking risks associated with your business. And as a small startup business, it's risky, right? I mean, I think we all know that. It's not 100% success guaranteed. You know, things pop up. And you know, there is something to say for, like, here's my equity, here's my skin. I want to do this. It's meaningful to me. It's important to me. And so I have some money to put towards it. Well, I don't have any money. Well, does that, you know, could you save up a little bit more, take more time to plan, and maybe, you know, depending on how we can look at it, we could talk about this all day, that having some money from something, you know, I've been profitable at this thing that I did, you know, which has grown up into this business. And out of those profits over the last 1, 2, 3, 4 years, I'm able to put up 20 grand towards 130 loan. Evidence that I have made money, and here it is. I can make more if I could just have access to this loan. And so back and forth, I guess, being kind of in this business, I would have to advocate that, you know, it's nice to have something towards, you know, larger amounts of money. You know, I mean, look at it this way. If somebody came to you and said, well, look, I want to borrow, would you want them to show you something as their skin in the game? You know, most people might say, I don't know. I'll leave that just to you to reflect on. Any other questions?
So this might be geared more towards a bank, but someone asked, if I have a large investment portfolio, what is the likelihood of the bank accepting or rejecting the approval of a loan?
Yeah. Well, this gets into the nuances of financing customized to your financial profile. Definitely. You know, what is large? Is large 30 grand? Is large 300? Is it 3 million? I don't know. But just, you know, it's all relative, right? But in cases I've known, you know, I mean, and it's with the bank, and it's been with this investment portfolio. It's been with the bank for some years. They know you. Maybe you even purchase or have some sort of broking arrangement with the bank, some outfit in the bank. You know, these are all the questions that we don't know. But sometimes they say, well, yeah, we can do a pledge against that. The portfolio stays in place, nothing's liquidated, but they take a position, a collateral, a guaranteed position against a portfolio, should it be needed to have some sort of liquidation of it. And so, or it may be, 10, 15-year client, we know Mr. Cassidy, no problems there. He, it's good. And he's handled all his facilities the way that we love for him to be handled. And we don't have to take any security because we know he's good for it. It could be that. Or they take a position and, a lien, a connection to the facility that if needed, they can grab it without, or up to an amount of the loan that's needed. Okay. Anything else?
No, those are all the questions.
Okay. So we're at 116. I trust that you're a lot more in the know about our loan guarantee product, how it can benefit you, what we go through to help structure and advocate for you, and the value that we provide to help minimize any frustration, inefficiencies, or just lack of understanding and engaging the bank, not on the bank's behalf, but just it's a process. They want a full, grounded, sensible, profitable, as best as can be, risk mitigated business plan. That's what they want as a banker. They want to be able to understand it. They want to be able to package it and write it up in a way, usually the individual that you meet with, the relationship manager, to the approvers that you don't meet. It all has to make sense. The number crunching and ratios have to work for them. And I think I've made my case to say we can help you with that to be successful as best as possible from day one. We have other products that I've covered, microloans in various ways, attractive interest rates, flexible payback terms, collateral free, no money or collateral required for full access to our loans, 30K or so to start. That's not a lot of money. It's not a little bit of money, but it's something to think about. If that level of funding is attractive to you, more so as a new entrepreneur, and even as an existing small business owner, it could be great to start a new line to be able to, whether it's working capital or inventory for your retail business or anything like that. Okay, I'm happy to answer any other questions one-on-one. A lot of times it's look, this is my personal situation, and I'd like to have an individual meeting, and I can certainly direct you to any other individuals within our organization, any other team members. Okay, so I wish you all a great Thursday, and until next time. Thank you, Deshaun.